Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are live and women of color. Welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling, where we dive into where I have a little help with my friends. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling, and dive into great conversation. Man, I really botched this one, guys.
What else is new?
I know. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling and dive into great conversation. We're positive you're going to hear something that's going to help you become a better reseller. I'm your host, Ray, and I am joined with all three of the co-hosts. Brendan, Big Time Flips.
Yeah.
There we go. Joe.
Oh, I didn't get a card name.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And Kristen, a Rules Scroll, the
Hey, got a sign.
third member of the podcast. And today, guys, we have our guest. You have probably been the person that's been on the podcast probably the most, Sonny.
I just
Really?
Doesn't
feel like it.
all renditions of the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, so many times. Like when you did it with Jimmy, like when I feel like this is probably like your fourth or fifth time here.
Dang, he's a veteran.
But each stage of him coming on the podcast, the hair just keeps getting longer and longer and longer and longer.
2 years, 10 years from now, it would be like Rapunzel. I don't even go out the door. I just go out the window with my hair.
But Sonny, for the people that are listening, they may not know you. Please give us a little brief introduction of who Sonny Las Vegas is. I know a lot has changed since last time we talked. You've started a whole completely new channel since that, and it's been interesting. So give us a little brief rundown.
I think for I've been reselling full time for 3 years since August. Before that, I was part-time reseller, full-time lister, and now that I guess I've gained more experience, I've become a full-time reseller, or stayed a full-time reseller, part-time lister, and I'm focusing right now more on creating content, but keeping up with my listings, doing better at that. And I'm just trying to keep the peace within myself, just trying to be happy and enjoy it and learn from it and try new things. One of my recent one was unintentional. Brendan sees it. I'm pretty sure he's seen the remove oil stains, and like this is the first time I've gotten a lot of hate from a 48-second video. And to me, it's a lot because anything more than like one or two comments, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What did I do wrong? And I take a lot of what people tell me, not personally, but as a sponge to learn from. Like, how can I make this better? It's not about screw the viewer, because that's who we not only rely on, because if it wasn't for us creating content, then there wouldn't be engagement with people, good and bad. So I'm just a sponge in everything, from reselling, being a better person, content creating.
I love it. So you had a video about oil stain removing, and it got tell me a little bit about that. Like, what's going on with that?
I got like the shittiest YouTuber award for 2024 because of it. And I was like, damn, if I had, well, it's kind of good, I guess, because if I was to hold off on it for January, then I would have to have that the whole year. So I'm glad it's at the end of the year, and not necessarily a full month of it. So, I mean, an award, if you think about it, is really something that you could be happy about, good or bad, because somebody noticed you enough to award you with an achievement. And again, I just think about turning negatives into positive and running with it.
Are they going to be mailing that award to you, or how do you?
I don't know.
That?
I mean, I do have my fan mail address on the bottom of my post, I think.
I'm still a little confused. So I don't know if you're following this. I don't know if Joe knows about this, because I don't know about this.
No.
So was it a short? Was it a full length video?
Short, 48-second
on your
short.
Where was this posted?
It's here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, now on Lemonade, as of like 30 minutes ago.
Wait, what's that
So-
last one?
What's what? Lemonade?
Lemon 8, the 8, number 8. So that's supposedly what is going to be taking over TikTok because of the whole political stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
make one of those today.
are they changing the name?
I don't know if they're keeping a TikTok name, but I know Lemon 8 is going to be running it.
Oh, I
I've
didn't
never
know
heard of
they
that.
got bought out.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
So
Mine-
this short is I find like I tapped into something within myself rather than just straight talking about going to Salvation Army. It's an intro. I go to Salvation Army, I find something. I found this Triumph motorcycle jacket and it has a lot of stains on it. And it's about reselling, but it's about something that we all talk about or focus on. You want to see it? You can see it right now.
Yeah,
It'll
let's
be
watch
better
it.
if you
Let's
see it.
take a look at
And then y'all can
If you're in
judge me
Las
on it all
Vegas,
you
you
want.
got to check out the Salvation Army bins. I've been going there for a few times and always come out with something worth reselling and worthwhile. This is one of the last pickups I ended up getting. It's a very dirty, dingy, oily spotted Triumph Motorcycles zip up jacket. This one's a soft one. It's very unique because I've never seen one with a 955i motor. Here's all the oil spots I got to laid out. What I'm going to try to do is something that I learned from here on TikTok using dishwash soap, some baking soda. I am going to then scrub it in, and I must have went through around 30 spots. I went front and back, checked out everything, let it sit for about a good 2 hours because I went to go check up a friend's yard sale, and then got back home to throw it in the wash. Stay tuned for part 2.
Oh,
If
man,
you're in
you
Las
didn't give us
Vegas,
the-
you got to check out the
the
Salvation
payoff?
Army.
Oh.
So
That's why they're mad. They want to know what happened.
So they're
Yeah.
But
why are they
it's
mad?
a short and it's saying removing oil stains. It wasn't how to remove oil stains. I'm removing oil stains.
right.
Oh, they
That's
want to
just
know what
But
it's
had
didn't
how
hurt.
it genuinely
Oh.
happened, you know? It wasn't sneaky that I planned it that way. It just played out that way.
Gotcha.
What was the comps on that thing? The sweater.
I'm estimating it at $40 minimum, even with the oil stains, because I have not seen one like it, especially with the large patch on the back.
Yeah.
And it also has like an embroidered signature. And every time I say things like embroidered or digital signature, people freak out. Like, so it's not a signature. It is. It's just saying that there's somebody's name on there. And they're usually more valuable than something that doesn't have any type of signature on there.
I didn't even know about that.
So,
Right.
so are you gonna do another short telling us if the oil stains came out, or is that just?
Yeah, well, when I was reading it, I was like, geez, man. And the thing is, to ask somebody like, and you're right to ask, right? Anybody is. So the comments in there were, you know, you're a piece of crap and you're all of this. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Piece
I mean,
of
what?
crap.
And I want to get dirty and clown around like my background from being in Texas is like I could be very dry and sarcastic. And I just want to reply like, what's your credit score look like the mine? You know, like what do you have that I don't? But I don't want to be dirty that way because then they could lie. I don't need to lie and I could prove it. And then all these people are like calling, and it's not a lot. To me, it's a lot. Anything more than 2 is a lot, right? But
right.
then one person yesterday, and I always dread this. I don't know if a lot of people have done this. I don't know if you have done this. And all the content creators on there, you could go to YouTube Studio or even YouTube Studio. I usually do it on the app and look up the comments and look up held comments and see what has been pushed down for you to approve to get on there. And somebody, and so these people are hating that I didn't make a full-on video, right? But then this one person, the last one, was asking, you know, what kind of prick doesn't make a follow-up video? And in my head, I'm like, dude, I've been to the doctors like every day, sometimes twice a day, if not for me, for my wife. Like, people have lives. I don't just sit down and say I'm planning this out. When I share things, it's how it happens. And I try to do my best with the long form content because I have my vlog channel, then I have my thrifting channel. Like, I do my best to keep up with it. But even when you're at home, what people think resellers don't do anything, there's a lot going on behind the curtains. And I try to share it in my vlogs for people to understand like how I work and how I express myself. How better are you going to understand somebody if you're not going to be patient enough to listen to them and watch them and follow up with them for a while, you know?
You should your next short, you should just troll them and be like, when it's should show it washing in the washing machine, like stay tuned for part 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Brandon, I'm gonna for part 3. Yeah, and they'll be like, what the hell happened to part 2, right?
Yeah.
So when I have it in the end of the video, stay tuned for. So somebody left a comment, stay tuned for, and then they type that out, stay tuned for ... and block. And then people are liking it. It's like, it's those things on social media, which you've probably all faced, and people that are watching and listening in on this is like when people go and leave you a comment, I'm gonna unfollow you. Like, why do you have to announce yourself that you're gonna follow me? You're never following me in the first place because I
Yeah.
honestly I don't recognize your usernames. And then another comment on there was, if only you listen to your viewers, you'd get more likes and more subscribers. Well, that video got me more subscribers, and it's probably my best short video in months.
Hmm.
So like obviously you're not listening, and also on top of that, this person has only seen this video or maybe one of my videos and not seen anything else. So
Yeah.
people are easy to judge, but they don't again have the patience to understand somebody and their past. Because I don't come at people this way, but they opened up a can of worms, I would say.
Mm. That is kind of a fine line. I know that with me, I would think that like we got viral. Like our biggest platform is TikTok, which after 2020, I just kind of figured out I don't need to be reading the comments on TikTok because it's just like a cesspool of people that just don't understand or they get things out of context.
Or the jealous.
But these guys know I deleted the app off of my phone. It's probably been 3 or 4 weeks now.
Like a
And
month.
dude, I've been so much better.
So much better. I
So
never
much
get
better. But
Now just don't get lemonade.
You probably have some of like the worst comments ever too. If you've got as many people on TikTok that you
Yeah.
do, just ridiculous amounts.
But I've figured out
Ray,
not to read
explain
them.
more about better. Like you got rid of the app. What do you mean better? For people to understand, and that's
For
what I
myself.
do on my end.
Yeah.
Explain that though. To say that doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people. It's
Yeah,
like good. I
great
applaud you,
question.
but what exactly does it?
Well, like I was
Make you
talking to
better.
these guys, and we have a Marco Polo thread with all of us, and dude, I would just doom scroll so hard and try to read not even read the comments anymore, but just consuming my time just doom scrolling through TikTok. And luckily, I haven't been doing that on Instagram or on YouTube because I'm not conditioned to do it. And I feel like the TikTok algorithm is just so like customizable and it just like gets you every time. And I'm like I'm spending too much time on here and it's not good for my mental health to be on here for this much, and especially like the things that I'm watching and it gets fed to me and I'm like I can't do this anymore. So I just deleted the app off of my phone, and it's been a lot better in the detriment of me making any kind of money or posting anything on there. I've even thought about, well, maybe let me download it, post some videos on it, and then delete it again. And I'm like, I don't know.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe down the road when I'm more, out of that mind space or head space, maybe I'll, download it again just to post videos. But I don't know. Who knows?
I just noticed Brendan's videos on there, and I followed him right away. I was like, he's on here too. It's like I'll follow him.
I only use it to upload my stuff. I don't go through the feed or none of that. Like I got people that
That's
send me
good.
like stuff on there. I'm like, and they know I don't use it, so I won't see it for like 3 or 4 days or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I follow my friends back and stuff. But yeah, I've been on there for I don't even know, a little bit.
Yeah, I post stuff and then get out. Same with Facebook. I post it and I get out. I am never on those apps. Instagram, that's another story. That's also a problem.
See, TikTok was my vice. It's just because it's so, dude,
Engaging.
customizable
Mhm.
for what you want. But then
Yeah.
now
Instagram
TikTok, it's
too.
like every time I go on there, it's like they're trying to sell me something. It's like, quit trying to sell me crap. I don't want
Yeah.
it.
I'm trying to get people to watch my stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It's like,
That's
quit
why-
trying to sell me all this junk,
That's why Joe doesn't have TikTok.
I've never had it. It's never been on my phone.
Yeah, it's intense. But Sonny, I know that you started a channel of your behind the scenes, like you were mentioning.
Vlog.
What made you
Yeah.
even want to do that? Because it sounds like you got some haters that are out to get you, which
Well,
now
it
you're
wasn't.
exposing more of your personal life. That's kind of tough.
Well, it was the way you said it sounds like pinpointing it, right? But that's not the case. My thrifting channel was an original vlog channel, and it was getting very little views. If anything, it was only from family and friends on Facebook because I was like, go watch my videos. And this was back in 2017 where YouTube's still fairly new. I actually had a YouTube channel back in 2012, I believe, or 13. And me and my wife were already at the time. This is going way back. We were already monetized for it, and then they started upgrading to like you need 400 subscribers and then so much views. So I've had YouTube for quite a while, and I followed it for a while. But when we moved here to Vegas, I thought start a new journey. Let me try a vlog and do it. And I used to do all my workouts, and I was a beast at the time. And then I started getting into reselling because I was looking for a job. I just got out the military, well, college, military, college, and then moved here. And I was looking for jobs. I thought it would be easy because my resume was just stacked, you know. And they're like, "Nope, we can't hire you because we're gonna pay you more than the people that have been here for so long. It wouldn't be fair to them, and it's gonna be a headache." So I ended up going for like just jobs that I wouldn't even put my resume on. I'm just an entry level person, and I just had to build myself back up. So while I was doing that, waiting for a job, my wife had got a job as a nurse, and her coworkers were talking about thrifting and reselling. So she's telling me about this, I think, to entice me to like, hey, you need to get a job or make money somehow. And here's something that I've just heard at work. So I'm like, what is thrifting? Because I was in the military for 10 and a half years. I just got back from my second deployment. So the civilian world was a different world for me all over again. She told me about thrifting. I said, what is thrifting? She said, when you people go to resell stuff at these thrift stores. And I said, what's reselling? She said, you go to the thrift stores like people do on eBay, like you buy, talking to me. And I said, what? The stuff I'm buying on eBay, it's like other people are buying it and making money. Literally, over her left shoulder, she was driving her car, and I saw Goodwill, and she had just said Goodwill Savers, and she knew all about this. I didn't. And we step into the Goodwill store. I was like that. Can we go in there? And that's my first thrifting video, or what sold video, kind of vlogish. And it was a little rust tro for like 69 cents. It sold for like 21 bucks fast. And then I was like, man, I could do this. And that's what started everything, was just trying to figure out how to pay the bills. I wasn't trying to be a content creator. I just like, maybe something will come from this, and I'm open to try something new. And that's all it was.
How long
So
ago was that?
you started your reselling journey the same time you started your YouTube journey. Well, YouTube came before the reselling.
Yeah.
It was at the same time. Well,
same
yeah,
time?
YouTube was before. And even to backtrack further than that, the only reason I was making videos is because when I was in Hawaii, my brother Sylvester was like, Sly, I want to see Hawaii. And I was like, well, let me save some money and fly you over here. He's like, I don't want to fly. And I was like, I don't think they'll boat you over here. He was like, I don't want to boat either. And I was like, dude, there's no quantum leap stuff to go through this like magic thing. And he was like, no, can you do one of those YouTube videos? So to take it from the very beginning, it was my brother's fault.
Wow.
For people hating me now. And loving me. No, but I used to show him Hawaii, when I would go to the beach on weekends, we would do all this, and I would do it for him. And then I was like, maybe I could do something with it. So it just had a ripple effect along the way.
Yeah.
Sonny and I were hitting, Sonny, me, and Mikey Bags Money, we were all hitting 1,000 followers at about the same time.
Yeah, I first met Kristen, and she reached out, I think, on Instagram or something. She was like, hey, I'm going to Las Vegas, and I want to challenge you. And I was like, holy shit, people are challenging me.
You're my very first challenge.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, when Kristen invited me to go to the bins, and she was ripping everybody apart. I don't even know if I think she's undefeated, undisputed. And the t-shirt, yeah, that's when I had short hair. That's me right there.
Yeah.
I was looking at the top. I was trying to see it earlier. I was like, what is that? So when she had challenged me, I said, you know what? I don't want to go alone. I'm scared. I'm sensitive. So I ended up inviting a taller person, Mikey Bags of Money. And we went over there, had a good time, and been friends ever since then. That was years ago. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I just got my message from YouTube that says, congratulations on 4 years. Happy birthday to your channel. I was like, 4 years. I think It's been 3 years since we did that challenge. So
it's been a minute.
I thought you had your channel longer than that for some reason, Kristen. I don't know why I thought that.
No, I've been thrifting way longer than I'd been doing YouTube, and it took me a year to decide to do the YouTube because I was afraid of snarky comments. I was worried about that kind of stuff, but I don't worry about it. I don't get very many, and I'm lucky that way, but
just don't make any oil stain removing shorts.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I'm waiting for people to be like super hurtful and angry and ugly at me, but I guess maybe I don't take too much stock in it because they don't know me, you know?
Mhm.
Whatever.
Well, that's the thing that I think bothered me the most was you don't know me, right? And
Yeah.
know
my
me.
wife tells me this all the time, and I get a lot of people that tell me like, don't reply to these comments, right? But
Mhm.
where I've come from and my upbringing is that when somebody talks to you, you give them, you give them feedback, whether it's good or bad. And I'm one that's respectful in many different ways, even when people not only step on my toes, but they're trying to break them. I'm like, you know what, benefited out. I'm better than this. And sure, I'm human. I'll lose it at times, and I may say something that's like people are like, "Whoa, Sonny," but that is hardly ever. Anybody that has watched me for years now will be like, "Oh, there was only one drama part in my reselling stuff that people could always use against me." And I'm like, you don't even know the story, so that doesn't bother me. But that helped me get thicker skin too. Like even this short video, it was just bothersome of this guy said I was defensive, right? And I told my wife about it because I
Well,
want
yeah.
somebody
I
to
mean, you don't even
I
know
want
me. What am I
somebody
supposed to
to
do?
Yeah.
exactly, right? Exactly, right? So I'm telling my wife about this, and she said, anything you say back to them, you're going to be defensive. And I was like, I'm not. We're having a conversation. That's what adults do, right? And it just, I think what happens on Shorts and TikTok and all these other, things other than YouTube are less likely because people that follow you are your fan base more than likely, and maybe very little hate followers, but not that way through their commenting. They just want to talk about it behind closed doors. But so this guy, I think people like this person that started it. Other people come and then they want to defend that person, like, oh yeah, I want to just bicker and cry about stuff. I was like, you have better things to do when you could have said, like, hey, it would have been nice if you're gonna make a part two, or could you do this next time, and be like, man, I'll do that.
No, I think it's a sport for some people. I think that their
You're
goal
right. I think it is.
is at a
Yeah.
I think that's all
I had a situation, Sonny, where I posted, which I already knew, and these guys already know the story. I posted
I don't know this story.
a video. I started buying Pokemon cards and like shows, and like going and buying them from vendors and whatnot. And so I was trying to sell a binder of Pokemon cards to this one vendor, and he completely like lowballed me, right? And so I posted the short, and I was like, the short started off, did this vendor lowball me at the trade card show or whatever? And the guy's got his business on his shirt, he's got the banners behind him of his business, and it did really well because the comments were, it got picked up by the algorithm, and like, yeah, man, it should be worth this, should be worth that, and they would tag him. It's like, why are you lowballing him? Why are you lowballing him? Dude just like completely ripped me to shreds. And like till this day, we'll go to a card show and people will talk about that video and how bad that guy lowballed me. And to a point to where I'm like, well, dude, here's my phone number. Let's talk about it. And we text over the phone. And I'm like, all right, man, I didn't mean to put your business on blast like that. I apologize. I didn't think about that far ahead, because that's like the dude's livelihood. And I was like, I'll delete all the videos and we'll just leave it at that. And that's it. And I see him at the shows all the time. And I'm sure it probably has affected his business somehow.
I was like, you could have re-released it, but like censored his face and like the business and stuff like that.
I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. But you just gotta be careful. I don't even know where I was going with that story. But just
Well, where I could go with that story is like, what if that's all that you have and you're trying to start out with your livelihood, right? And he lowballs you and you don't know any better because like businesses, insurance, banks, you expect them to do their job correctly, right? And then you're like, I'll get a fair offer, and you get it, and you're like, no, he rips you one, and then this could bounce back and forth to other things. Like when you go to a yard sale, Ray, you didn't offer him enough. You ripped him off. It was like that's what he's willing to take, but not knowing any better from him to you, that extra money could have helped with something else, or it could have just screwed you over and not help at all. There's all these different scenarios with stuff that I think about, just subconsciously, just in my nature to just like, I got people on me when I was doing more of the flea market videos often, and the vendors would say, hey, I'll take $2. I'm like, I'll give you 10. Oh, and they're like, really? Because I know what it's worth and I know what I could get from it, even if it's less profit. It could be like a $20 item, but I know I could flip it fast. But it's also me working this relationship with them, the bigger scheme of stuff is like they're gonna see me and be like, this guy's gonna give me, a fair price even when I'm wrong, and he could teach me something, and they could teach me something back because who you're buying matters. Who you're buying from matters more than what's on the table that you buy once. You want to get to know the person that brings that stuff, and I say that all the time. You keep looking for these items that are bolos, and you keep going to the same vendors and same garage sales, the same people, and you still haven't even asked, like, here's my number. How about you hit me up and I'll buy a lot of your stuff.
Right.
And they're like, cool, you save a lot less time for me to come and do this on a weekend and maybe even work with HOA, and it's a headache, and they only do it like once or twice a year. Like, when people think about networking, they should think a lot bigger than just what's on the table.
That's good, Sonny, because I know it's a little different from a flea market than a garage sale. Because at a garage sale, I'm brutal. I'm a tell you take it for like a quarter. But at the flea market, I think it would be different because you are trying to build that relationship with the vendor, and you're going to become a repeating customer and build that relationship. Same thing like if you go to a card show, it's just kind of, help me out today, I'll help you out tomorrow kind of thing, which that is a good point because I know when Jimmy was on, we had a huge discussion about saving $1 every time you go to a garage sale because it accumulates over time. But I guess in this situation, it would be a lot different because you're trying to build that rapport. And like you said, you might not even be at the flea market, and he can just call you up and be like, hey man, I just bought 10 storage units. Come pick out what you want. I only want this stuff, So.
That's actually what just happened this past weekend. So one of my friends, who I just had a video, 2 videos ago, my friend Omar at Lomex, he trash picks, and he has figured out over these past 2-3 years all the bulk days. So every day he is to work and on the way back from work to home, he is picking and he is finding the most craziest stuff, right? So I was there getting stuff from him this weekend. I also appraise stuff for him, as in I look stuff up. If I don't know it, I look up keywords, serial numbers, and so on, right? Like all of us do. And I was like, Omar, your neighbor, I see him sell stuff and he has a trailer every once in a while. He's like, yeah, he asked me to look into the boxes because he does clear outs, but he only wants to make money off of cleaning the houses or the properties, and then he just throws everything, and most of the time they're in boxes. And I'm like, Omar, give him my number, I will go through those boxes. Now I'll buy stuff from him, and he was like, no, he wants to give it away. I was like, Omar, why aren't you doing this yourself? This is what you do. But he likes the content of trash picking and not, here's my friend and it's set up. I'm all, as I'm growing. I just turned 44 in October. I want things to be easier. I don't want things to be harder. I was begging him, and I don't beg. I was like, Omar, give him my number. Like, I will go through these boxes. I'll help him dump it at the place, because I'm not just gonna take. I'm gonna help you make it. I'm gonna give you an offer you can't refuse, and that's what you want. You want to make it so good that people are like, I just want to go to you, right? I want to go to you, Brandon.
Yeah.
I want to go to both of y'all.
Right. And
Yeah,
so you started doing that then, right? You get the guy's number?
I'm waiting. That was just this weekend, so I'm waiting for him.
Okay.
But Omar is pretty much the same picture. He'll call me and say, I have this. I was like, what you got? And I tell him, I'm looking for glass. I'm looking for paperweights. I'm looking for vintage jewelry. I'm looking for everything, really. But these are the things that have been exciting me for the past 3 years. But my strong suit is apparel. So I look at apparel last because I want to go and find the glass and be like, I got this, because that's my thing right now.
Right now, is it glass? Is that your special? If we were to build an Avengers team of resellers, and your superpower,
I would not pick me. No, I would not pick me. It's just something I like.
You're picking superpower. What would it be?
My nose.
Well, besides your nose.
I like that quick little second pause. My superpower would be, I would say apparel. And it's not vintage apparel. It's just general apparel. Like, it's not even special. That's the beauty about reselling. You don't have to find the most unique, rarest bolos. You just got to find good stuff that sells.
Okay. So in your,
I would not pick me to be part of that team.
Oh, well, you're on it, baby. This
is
it.
Too late.
I wouldn't even be in the credits.
It's too late. So give the people some apparel items, just a couple, Sonny, that you people wouldn't think that would sell well, that you've had great luck with selling.
Abercrombie Fitch.
The older stuff.
The older ones, usually with patches, whether it's jacket, sweater, shorts, track pants.
Mm-hmm.
I do well with them. Old Navy, baggy jeans. They look like what people call parachute jeans. Metallic is in right now. Baggy metallic stuff. I love denim. I like to look for not so much vintage, but Japanese denim, selvage denim. It's a good one. If you could find that in jackets, that's gold.
I love it. Okay, Joe. So we've picked you to be on the Avengers team.
Okay.
You can be the what is it? Nighthawk. You know, he doesn't really have a superpower, but he's got like a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Did he just insult
Hawkeye?
you?
His name is
Hawkeye. Hawkeye. That's what it is. Hawkeye. Nighthawk.
Black eye.
I'm like, wait, Nighthawk? Who the heck?
Nighthawk. Hawkeye. So what would be your picking?
I knew you were going to ask me this too. Now, after you asked Sonny,
Karen, Kristen, Brendan.
Karen.
You might
Wow.
be next. So just saying.
Just called you.
I have a coworker named Karen. I'm still thinking about work. Sorry.
I have some amazing supporters that are named Karen.
That's what he thinks of me.
She's
Yeah.
my coworker. Y'all are my coworkers.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, it's a lot of stuff that I like to buy and stuff like that. So I would probably fill in on the spot that Brendan wouldn't take, or Karen wouldn't take, or Ray wouldn't take. So I'll just, you know, because I don't have superpowers, so I'm just like, hey, look, I got this bow and arrow now.
You're a floater.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That I was.
Which is a
And I had
superpower.
What's that?
Which is a superpower to float.
True. That's
There you
true.
Oh,
That's
okay.
true.
All right, Brendan, you can be
I like
the Black Widow of the group,
I don't even know what that means, but I'll take it.
the superhero Black Widow.
I don't know any of those movies. Like, I don't.
You've never seen any of those movies?
Nah, that's not my thing.
Dang, son.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
No.
Making Joe lose his hair.
Right?
For real,
Right.
though.
He did get a haircut the other day, Sonny.
I did that.
He cut off his cornrows.
Mhm.
Did.
No,
The
no,
snake
my,
dog
see you.
cornrows that
Mhm.
start like back here,
yeah. He needs to cut that hair, man. This looks bad.
or what is it? Stevie Wonder. His
Yeah.
cornrow, his braids start like back here.
hmm No, I'll go with electronics.
Electronics,
Yeah.
vintage, or what?
Let's see.
Just take.
Just in general.
Okay,
Just in general.
okay. All right, Kristen, what's your picking?
So I like picking quilts, but I just did my little what sold video for today, because I'll do one every day, you know. I
for
sold
the 12 days of Christmas.
yeah, I sold Gucci today, Tumi today, Tiffany today, and one other, Chloe. So I sold like all these like fantastic designer brands today. So sometimes I think I want to do that more, you know. That's fun to sell that stuff. But I do like selling quilts and baskets, and universally covers everybody.
You should really call that series 12 Days of Kristenness.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So why
That-
don't you sell
that's
designer stuff
searchable.
more? Is it just because it's hard to
Well,
get?
Yeah, and where I shop, you know, it's a little harder to find, but these are all bins finds except for one thing. I got at the Vegas bins or Vegas flea market with you, but the rest of it's all bins finds. It's few and far between. That's for me. So that's why quilts is easier.
So are you
So
back to
what makes
listing
a
every
good-
day, Kristen? Are you back to listing every day?
Yeah, I list every day. I just don't film it every day anymore.
Yeah. That's fair.
What makes a good quilt from a bad quilt?
I want ones that are handmade, not like mass produced in a factory somewhere. I want them to be one of a kind, and I like them when they're older, like
An uwak.
Depression era or late 1800s. I like those the best. Maybe 40s, 50s, but I like them hand stitched.
What does a Depression era quilt look like?
Depression.
Yeah, like it's brown and gray colors. Like what are we looking at?
Bad,
It's
dark.
you can
Needs
tell by
therapy.
the
Sandy.
By the
Dusty.
fabric that they use, you know, the colors and the fabrics and the materials, you can tell what it's from. Just like looking at old Levi's, you know, you can date in old Levi's or vintage t-shirts. You can date that stuff. You can do it with quilts too, just based on what kind of content is in the fabrics and whatever.
That reminds me, Sonny, you were talking about vintage denim. I saw a TikTok or something on this girl found a Big E Levi's denim at like Goodwill or something, and she sold it for like $300, and it went to like Japan.
Wow. Yeah, Japan. It's supposedly Japan loves American denim, and then it's funny because I love like Japanese denim. It sells like crazy.
Why is that? Like, why?
I don't know.
Like, I think
it's a contrast, something new, something literally foreign. You know, it's harder to get.
Those big E Levi's, I feel like you can barely tell the difference with the E.
Oh, you're not looking then.
Yeah,
But I don't sell that kind of stuff though. So.
Yeah.
Well, you should. If you see the Big E, that does not. I want to say that right now. It does not mean it's vintage. They're making Big E pants right now.
Oh, really?
That have the Levi's watermark, something on the tag, and those could still be worth money. I do really good with the female ones. I would say with Levi's for me is not so much that when it is Levi's, I'm looking for like orange tags. I'm looking for a high rise, which are usually women's. There'll be like a loose tapered fit, and I make like an average of $40 to $60 to $85. I was with American Arbitrage and Lady Arbitrage. It's probably a year ago now, and we went garage selling or whatever, hopping a weekend, and there was this one person that had I think around 12 of these same women Levi's pants, loose fit, and they wanted $10 for them, and I think I tried to get them for like 7, and they're like, no, we'll take 10. I was like, done. And they all sold within 2 weeks. I made a couple $100, so had $10 a pop, not a problem. But right now, Goodwill over here, the few that I've been to, their jeans, if it's missing a leg, missing a zipper, missing buttons or whatever, worst condition, is still like at $14. When they used to be like $5, then it was like $8, and then $9, and then it went straight to like $14 and $15.
I don't even go to the stores, Goodwill stores anymore because they've gotten outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, they do, but what is it?
And mine are always like picked over, like they're not picked over, but like they just the good stuff they all keep for their auction site. Yeah, it's never.
I just think there's something there. If I'm not finding something, I'm learning something, and it's a lot more learning than anything. But my recent thrift video, I found a bird cage that I originally passed up, and I pointed out in the video, and it's like $1,000 bird cage that I got for $8. You know, they are pricing jeans and all these other well-named brand stuff, but they honestly, like everybody says, if you talk enough to them, that they're not trying to argue and just bicker about things. It's they don't know everything, and sometimes maybe some of their employees like, I don't care, you know.
Right.
You know, I don't think they follow all the guideline and rules, but who does at times?
Yeah, bird cages can be super pricey, and then if you can find them with the feeders or the stands, even more.
Like the little ones, like
actually right here,
like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is what $1,000 looks like.
Wow,
that one's tiny.
What brand is that?
Elpa, ELPA. I'm not sure if that's an abbreviation, but this is made in West Germany. And that's one thing I learned too, is like Maker's Mark sometimes isn't actually like a company's name, but like an area like West Germany. If you see West Germany, I'm automatically thinking 70s, pre-70s.
Yeah,
more than likely, because I don't know everything, but more than likely it's
40s to 70s or 40s.
Bring down the wall, garbage draw, or what was it?
Yeah,
nobody.
I was not a history person. I failed history so many times.
Reagan,
yeah, Reagan.
How'd it go, Kristen?
Tear down that wall.
Tear down that wall. Yeah.
I like raise hand like this. Tear down that wall.
I don't think he said it like this, though. I don't know.
That might be a little bit of my Bill Clinton going in there.
I remember getting a cuckoo clock from West Germany, and it was like half broken, like the broken pieces and all that. And I still feel that thing for like $50, like not even 24 hours later.
I had pen pals from West Germany when I was little, and they corrected me whenever it switched over. You write letters to them. they kept correcting me. You can't put West Germany in. It's just Germany. So making that switch was kind of crazy, kind of weird.
You got a pen pal in West Germany?
I know, weird, right? 2.
How does that? You got 2?
You guys should reconnect.
They were cousins.
Why?
So my grandparents went. My grandparents were farm family. They went on a tour of European farms with some tour company, and they stayed in these people's houses and learned about their farms. And one of them had kids that were my age, and they spoke English at school. They learned English, and they wanted to be able to correspond with somebody that spoke English. So I got these 2 girls that were pen pals that we wrote letters back and forth until, I don't know, I was probably 25. It was really cool.
25?
Yeah.
Who wrote the last letter, Kristen? Was
Pardon?
it you? Who wrote the last letter? You or them?
I don't know. We went to Europe.
Just trying to figure out who stopped it and who just didn't continue it.
So we went to Europe whenever I was probably about 25. And we were supposed to try to meet, but we couldn't get the train to connect to where we were supposed to meet. And then we just never talked after that. So
Wow.
I don't know, it was super weird.
You guys need to
They're
reconnect.
mad at you.
You guys need to reconnect.
Yeah.
I've tried to reach out, but I don't think that they live in the same place anymore. I don't know, because I don't hear from them.
What would you guys talk about?
I don't know. Oh, I do know. Wait a minute. This is so funny. I was going through something, and I'm gonna get rid of all of my my stamp collection, and they sent me this. This is like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, like
Wow.
a teen pop magazine. So
There?
all these fans, like all these bands, Duran Duran, and of course that's Aha that's on the front, right?
Okay.
And Europe is on there, Duran Duran, Tom Cruise,
Sonny, aha.
yeah, Spandau Ballet, Madonna, Don Johnson. Like we would talk about music, I think.
Boys?
No, we didn't really talk about boys, but we did talk about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We just wanted to. So I found this magazine, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And it's all in German, so I can't read any of it.
Huh.
Could use Google Translate. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
right.
No, I probably wouldn't. I don't care. I don't care. January 1987.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Maybe they watch
Brendan,
the
do you
channel.
have any pen pals outside of the pokey?
No.
Some ladies.
Or
some
in
ladies,
prison?
Mm-mm.
Or
No,
in prison,
Prison
right?
pals.
I don't even have any in prison. So
Yeah. They all broke out.
yeah, me, myself, and I.
None of you guys ever had a pen pal?
No.
Nice bad
Uh,
spelling.
We grew up in like the internet. Well, I grew up in the internet age where you would go into a room and you would know, like a chat room, and you would never know who would be in there.
Chat room.
Or at least I did.
Oh.
Excuse me.
those AOL, AOL,
Those
chat
AOL
rooms.
chats were brutal
Yes.
back in the day.
Yeah.
I didn't do that, so I don't know.
Starting up AOL was bad in the day.
Oh,
Yeah, it took 5 minutes.
the dial-up. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was listening to stuff on eBay whenever it was dial-up. So
Yahoo Chat was the best then, though, when AOL was out.
I had them all. I had AOL, MSN, Yahoo.
how many of you
Alright,
guys had a MySpace?
I did.
I'll pull up my MySpace right now, Kristen.
Ooh.
Yeah,
See if
music.
it's still up.
It'll be
Is
the
it?
music.
Maybe.
It's wait. The last time I did it was like 10 years ago. It was still up. I used to have like $100 bills raining down on my profile and stuff like that.
Dude,
like,
dude, I would spend like the whole weekend fiddling with my MySpace.
mhm.
Yeah. The coding.
Yeah, like
I was like, I'm a
dude,
coder. I'll just
I-
copy
Yeah,
and paste
yeah.
something I found on the internet. Then it would crash, and I'm like, oh man, I learned to copy and paste on the side.
If I can get mine back up, I'll put you all in my top 8.
Not top 10, top 8.
Top 8.
Wait. It's not on here anymore.
I think the last time I was on MySpace, like actual MySpace, old school MySpace, was when did I get to Hawaii? 06, maybe 08.
You know what's his name that founded that Tom? He has an Instagram page where he just like travels.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
He
all
pops
does.
up a few times a year.
Is he crazy?
No, he's got like $600 million. He's good.
Oh,
He's probably have more than that. I bet he's got more than that.
what happened to it? Did they just like quit? Did they
It's still
dissolve
up.
it?
He sold it.
He sold it.
Still
He
use
sold
it?
He sold it and cashed out while it was hot.
Mm.
Smart man.
Mhm.
Yep.
For him. It's still on here. Featured content, MySpace. Here you go.
But it's like a music type layout, right?
I wonder if they had an app.
Yeah, it's music.
Hmm.
Oh, a MySpace app. Let's look. Maybe that's what we need to be doing. Quit posting on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Let's just move it
Friendster.
over to MySpace.
Friendster, Zanga, all that.
Huh.
I don't even know what's going on this site. Like if I click on,
I didn't even know it was still
Avril
a thing.
Lavigne here.
Like a photo book.
I didn't even know that was
I
still
don't
a
know
thing.
what's going on here?
Can you log in? Like,
Was that
I
Avril
don't know my
Lavigne?
login information, Brendan.
see, I do. I don't know my password, but I know the email.
I think my email was my old like college email too.
See, just reset the password.
I don't have access to my college email anymore.
You know, I don't. Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Sonny, all right. So I'm gonna leave a teaser. So on the After Dark episode, we'll talk about all the how you cope with all the haters in your comments. Okay.
He's like, no.
Okay.
Right now? Oh, you want me to answer?
No. And the
No.
other, we'll talk about it on the After Dark episode, guys. So make sure you guys go and watch the After Dark episode when we start getting real. All right, guys.
Yes.
So thank you so much for watching This Week in Reselling Podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below.
Leave it. No
Catch
hate.
you on the
All
flip side.
positive.
All positive. Yes, all
I'll
positive
bring the
comments.
hate.
So my name is
take
Ray.
it. I'm Joe.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Sonny.
Karen.
We'll catch you on the flip side. See y'all. God bless. Peace.